Hi everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and if you're new here, hi, welcome in. Every Friday we take a moment or two to discuss some of the new vinyl that came out this week, either whether it's a new release or a reissue or a repress or, something that just trickled in from a week or so ago. But anyway, if you don't want to hear about everything, there's a list posted down below with prices, and it goes pretty alphabetically, so you can skip ahead to anything that you prefer to hear about. Okay, so apart from the picks of the week, everything is alphabetically done. But we always start out with picks of the week, and my pick for you this week is Jack White, Entering Heaven Alive. And this is on Third Man Records, and it's the second solo release from Jack White in 2022. It features some acoustic songs on here about love, and it's the first Jack White solo album without the color blue on the album cover itself. This is just a black and white image, which is kind of weird. Fans of Jack White have kind of become accustomed to his monochromatic approach to visual art that kind of encompasses every major aspect of his universe. Like with the White Stripes, it was red. With Third Man, it's always the strong yellow color. And for his solo stuff, it's always been the blue. So, we're thinking, does this deviation in aesthetics, does that mean it's a deviation from everything he does? And well, yes and no. In many ways, Entering Heaven Alive here, it remains very quintessentially Jack White. The songwriting, he derives inspiration from the blues and folk traditions. There's, guitar riffs are plentiful, but his very specific brand of charisma definitely comes across throughout every song. On the other hand, he's never played it this mellow for so long, so that's kind of the interesting thing here. In April, we had Fear of Dawn, and that fully embraced that garage rock sound. And it really, that whole record was almost like just one long jam. It was, that way. This one is more, that one, has much more boisterous tendencies. This one is a calmer Jack White than ever before. So after like the 4-year absence, Entering Heaven Alive, along with that Fear of the Dawn, they stand as like this real reminder of what Jack White can accomplish when you hand him a guitar. This reminds us of his range and his playfulness and his deep understanding of the music that inspires him. And it's a real accomplishment for an artist to, decades into his career, somehow manages to still remain, as interesting as ever. I guess if you're wondering where the blue is on this, the indie exclusive, the limited edition one, is what they're calling Detroit Denim Blue Vinyl, and I'm assuming it's kind of that color. So that's where your blue is on this. The black one just has the same sticker, but it doesn't say anything about color, so that's how you tell if you're after the blue one. This is the one you will look for, okay? So anyway, that is my pick for you this week. It's just, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was terrific. I really like Jack White, and just feel like that guy really knows what he's doing. My other pick for you this week is the Kooks, 10 Tracks to Echo in the Dark. This is on the Lonely Cat label, and it's the 6th studio album, and it's a very fresh-sounding, electronic-tinged evolution of their iconic sound. It's a nice hodgepodge of kind of easy listening tracks that focus on implications of love and very broad strokes of variable friendly meanings of things. There's no specific commentaries, and there's no tracks that feel too deep or heavy hitting, but the Kooks have never been that band. They're not hard or heavy hitting. This is just very pleasant indie pop rock, and they're effective when they're reduced their works to these like pop riffs and indie vibes. It's the best, and they do well in that, and they stay consistent here. So it's better than Inside In, Inside Out. That at times, that stronger album in concept on the whole. That was their debut. This one has far more consistency than that. They'll always kind of be tied to that first record because so many people loved it and got it was so catchy and great. And this kind of more or less showcases their growth that's both technical and lyrically, they're growing. But again, you're going to get what you want out of the Kooks. And this comes to us on this clear vinyl, indie exclusive, and it's a gatefold sleeve, and they're back. And it's been a while since that debut. So glad to have another Kooks record. Okay, let's get into it, you guys. We have, I've tried to keep it short for you. And of course, there is like tons of releases that come out every Friday. So this is kind of, I always just try to pick a good mix of different genres for you so we can just like talk about that, anything that's kind of interesting. Okay, so don't want to start choking in the middle of it all, so give me a drink and let's go. Okay, Alex is on Fire, Otherness. This is on Dine Alone Records, the fifth studio album by this Canadian post-hardcore band, Alex is on Fire. The album was released in June, but 13 years after the release of their last full-length album. So they're another one. It's been a minute. The other album was called Old Crows, Young Cardinals. Without losing the sense of comfortable familiarity and nostalgia that comes along with it, they've kind of signposted for a new era of themselves as a band here. And in doing so, they've let us know that they're just like ready to roll with the times in this fast evolving post-hardcore scene that is right now. So this is the indie exclusive, and it comes to us on neon purple and magenta vinyl. It's limited to 3,500 copies, and here for you now. All right, next up, this is Baby Strange, and it's called World Below, and this is on the label called Icons Creating Evil Art. Their new album kind of picks up where Land of Nothing left off, and uniquely Baby Strange, their sound is encased with very haunting melodies and, guitar riffs for really all-out drums and huge bass lines. It's blanketed under a cover of melancholy that, pulls and tears at your emotions. It's written as a reaction to how the pandemic has played havoc with mental health and increasingly visible class divide and meteoric rise of food banks across the country. World Below is an album that plays to the paradox of the topics set out. It's equally dark and beautiful pop melodies that sync with very gritty and also polished. The result is this album in the truest sense of the word, that it's 10 songs that really are cohesive and they pull you through this myriad of textures and sounds and emotions with the array of artwork that they show you is like a visual accompaniment to the topics that they are talking about. Now you can get this on the black vinyl or the deluxe version, which is clear red deluxe vinyl. Now, how in the hell do we tell the difference? The only way, you guys, that I can tell, and I just can't believe that it's got to be this subtle. The black vinyl, this little sign here is in orange, and on the deluxe, it's in the red. So, yeah, it would have just been too much to put a sticker on these, but it's also a gatefold in the deluxe, so you can tell that way as well. The thin, regular one sleeve is the black vinyl. So, anyway, gosh, that's just one of my pet peeves when they don't tell you what color the vinyl is. But here we go. That's how you do it. And next up, this is the Brian Jonestown Massacre, and this is called Fire Doesn't Grow on Trees, and this is on A Records. It was recorded in Berlin remotely between 2020 and 2021. Brian Jonestown Massacre, this is their 19th full-length studio album, and it is the beginning of a thrilling new phase for Anton Newcomb and his band. Originally, he was heavily influenced by the Rolling Stones, their psychedelic phase, and that's like hence the name. It comes from Stones guitarist Brian Jones combined with a reference to cult leader Jim Jones. But his work in the 2000s has really expanded much more into this aesthetic that's approximating more like UK shoegaze from the 90s. It incorporates influences from world music as well, especially Middle Eastern and Brazilian music. And anyway, great stuff. Glad that, can't believe they've been going for 19 records. Isn't that crazy? Next up, we have the Buckinghams, Kind of a Drag. This is on Culture Factory. It's a 1967 sunshine pop kind of record here. It was #1 Billboard Hot 100, selling over 1 million copies. The vinyl's been out of print until now. Deluxe packaging here, it includes this Obi strip and single jacket with one pocket, printed inner sleeve in yellow and gold smoke vinyl. It kind of approximates this color right here. And it's got the original record labels. It's a collector's edition. There's only been one pressing worldwide, and it is also mono. Okay. This one is called, well, it's Willie Colon. It's Lo Mato Si No Compra Este. God, I hope I said that somewhat right. It's on Craft Recordings. So it was first released in 1973, and Lo Mato is filled with like these killer salsa grooves that from beginning to end. It's Hector Lavoe's vocals are on point, and he tells stories of the streets in this poignant and powerful lyrics. Ageless and inspired album here is the fourth by the powerhouse salsa duo Colon and Lavoe to reach gold status. And this reissue features lacquers cut by Kevin Gray at Coherent Coherent Audio, and it's pressed on 180 gram vinyl for you now. Craft Recordings, they always like come up with that stuff that they bring us, these gems from the past that have kind of been overlooked, and it's cool. This is the Color Green, and it's called Color Green, and it's on Org Music. They're an American rock and roll duo based in Los Angeles. Their sound is kind of culled from the eternal solitude of working musicians. The feeling of infinite transition and the need to create space that transmits the strange sounds of American music, pulling from the Allman Brothers and Acetone or Acetone, I'm not sure, the Grateful Dead and other acts from like, the dusty storage boxes in their attics. And Color Green, they're searchers for a continuation of classic songwriting through the use of collaboration and close examination of the relics of yesterday's past, maintaining the spirit of the present. The duo formed in Ridgewood, Queens in 2018. They created a 4-song self-titled debut EP released by Maximum Exposure in 2020, recently signing to Org Music here for a co-release with Aquarium Drunkard. That's a guy that does a kind of, well, I don't want to say a podcast. It's sort of a show about music that's kind of like a podcast. It's on, or it has been on Sirius Radio for, many years. I don't know if they're still going on that. But anyway, Color Green, it's highly anticipated debut album. It's here for you now. The only thing they're kind of blowing life, they did not put this on green vinyl, which seems to me that would have been the way to go. But whatever. I feel like Org Music, it's not that much money to make vinyl green, and when you have such an open door to that and you're introducing a new artist, you should fancy it up a little bit. Although I do love the artwork on this. I think that is really nice. Okay, enough of my opinions, right? This is a Kuko Fantasy Gateway, and this is on Interscope. Fantasy Gateway opens a new chapter for Kuko over the course of 12 songs, which include a new single called Caution. It's the sophomore album. It also contains features from Casey Musgraves, Adriel Favela, Danny Lux, and Brady. And it's on sea blue colored vinyl, which is, I think that's the only way it comes. So I don't think we have to really delve into looking for stickers. It just is, okay? All right, this is Dave. We're all alone in this together, and this is on Geffen. And it's the second studio album by the British rapper Dave. It truly lives up to the quality expected for Dave's sophomore record here. It cements him in time as a fallible but even more forthright voice of UK culture. It does have the parental advisory if you're a person that's concerned about that sort of thing for yourself or for young kids. Just be aware of that. Also, that one is on black vinyl. Next up, we have Daws, Misadventures of Doomscroller, and this is on the Rounder label. It's their 8th studio album from this band Daws, with longtime producer Jonathan Wilson back at the helm. And they're still ruminating on the troubled state of the world and seeking refuge in small pleasures. Their blend of experimental rock, it kind of is introspective songwriting, and throughout this album, however, the lyrics, they're not as articulate as the melodies and the playing. I like Daws. I saw them once live. At the time, I remember kind of thinking that their whole singer-songwriter vibe and the way they were is like, oh, Jackson Browne, call your lawyer. It was kind of like that. But here, as they've continued to grow, I don't know, I kind of... this was just okay for me. Like I said, I didn't feel like it was very strong lyrically, or the playing is great, melodies are beautiful, but I'm a person that really is big on lyrics. Sorry again, I go with my big opinion. Who cares? But anyway, this you can get on black or the indie exclusive here, which is on translucent blood orange vinyl, and that is clearly marked for you. So good for them for doing that. And that's the new one from Daws. Okay, next. I'm going to opinion out on you again one more time. The hideous Anthony Green, boom, done on fittingly Born Losers Records. I just don't like this guy. I never have. And if you don't know who Anthony Green is, he's an American singer, songwriter, and musician from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. He's currently the lead singer in that band Circus Survive. Seosin, is that how you say it? The Sound of Animals, fighting, and he also maintains this solo career. He's got one of those voices that to me is like nails on a chalkboard. I can't stand it. But anyway, this was written after a stay in rehab in 2020. It's a deceptively lighthearted title for an uncompromising and forthright look into Anthony Green's dark night of the soul. His recent diagnosis of bipolar disorder alongside some longtime struggles with addiction provide plenty of fuel for a seemingly grim fire, but let's be clear, this is a fully textured album of shades of light and dark in tandem, and I'm sure that people who are fans of Circus Survive just love this guy, so here he comes with a new one. It's on black vinyl, and I'm sorry, I need another drink of water. I don't want to choke on you. Okay, this is interesting now. This is a reissue. Do you guys remember this record? House of Pain, Fine Malt Lyrics. But anyway, it's the 30th anniversary of this. And it's on through Tommy Boy Music. Now, Tommy Boy they're celebrating 30 years of House of Pain's debut album, House of Pain, self-titled. Fine Malt Lyrics. They have a remastered limited edition release on this. So Everlast, DJ Lethal, and Danny Boy formed House of Pain while attending high school and were signed to Tommy Boy after fashioning themselves as a rowdy Irish-American hooligan type band hitting the local rap and alternative music scene. This went multi-platinum, and this self-titled debut spawned the successful producer DJ Muggs, who produced the single Jump Around that's on here, and that was such a huge song for them. That song was also remixed twice by Pete Rock, one version featuring a verse from him and one without. Jump Around became a hit in 1992, reaching number 3 in the United States. In 1993, re-release of the song in the United Kingdom, where the initial release had been a minor hit, peaked out at number 8. And their music is of the dense, hard-hitting school of hip-hop. A group have absorbed Black Rap's musical lessons and create a satisfying platform for their above-average deliveries. It's a very solid and at times exceptional album. Imagine if License to Ill wasn't an upper middle class Jewish thing, but a rather working class Irish thing. So, that's a nice comparison to the Beastie Boys that they're getting on that. The atmosphere is like a cross between a frat party and a barroom brawl on these. The 30th anniversary LP and cassette, are like this, all right? But then there's also the deluxe versions of these, which they look like this. Oops, sorry for the Post-it note. There we go. Okay, they look like that. What these are is, the deluxe exclusive limited edition and numbered orange and white opaque vinyl. And this is where they are numbered on the back. And this is number 5245 out of 6500 is what this one happens to be here. And or the cassette. The cassette, now what the deal is with this, there's 5 bonus cuts. That's why, sorry. Too much talking. Okay, that's why you get this as a double album, because it's got the 5 bonus tracks on it. Now you also get those 5 bonus tracks on the cassette, which is white. And if you get the deluxe album here, you also get a House of Pain jump around jump rope. I don't know why they decided to do that. It just seems so funny and weird to me. But anyway, you can see it says House of Pain on there, and there it's the jump around rope. Okay, so I think it's funny. The packaging's great, but anyway, this jump rope you get if you buy the LP. Okay, that's it comes with that. Okay, next up, Betty Lavette. Let Me Down Easy, Betty Lavette in Memphis. This is on Sun Records, and it's looking back on the career of a living legend. This captures the recordings she made in the 60s for Silver Fox Records, part of the Sun Records family, celebrating 70 years of Sun. Blending her northern R&B with southern soul, this is remastered, and it's a retrospective. It includes tracks like the rockin' He Made a Woman Out of Me, her explosive cover of Piece of My Heart, and Let Me Down Easy, which was featured by the electronica duo Odessa. Anyway, it's on 180 gram LP now, vinyl LP now, and yes, she was kind of a overlooked great from the 60s. This is John Moreland. It's called Birds in the Ceiling, and it's on Old Omens. On his second album, collaborating with producer Matt Pence. That guy produces people like Jason Isbell, The Breeders, and Sarah Jaffa. And anyway, he continues to experiment with instrumentation and textures, adding a stunning backdrop to his masterful and poetic lyrics. And this is an India exclusive, and it's on opaque blue vinyl, and I believe it's like this dark color blue. That tells you right there that this is the blue one. All right, that's the India exclusive. All right, next up we have some reissues here. Well, yeah, I guess they're reissues because they've deluxed them up for us a little bit here. Let's see. It's all Motley Crue, and all of these are on BMG Rights Management US. Okay, so Dr. Feelgood is the 5th studio album by them. It was released in September of 1989. It topped the Billboard 200 chart, making it the band's only album to claim this position. It was the first album Motley Crue recorded after their quest for sobriety and rehabilitation in 1989. It's the 40th anniversary remaster, so that's why these are reissues, and they're all remastered. And let me see. I wanted to see if they were on 180 gram, but they do not say that they are, so I'm guessing not. But anyway, all right, first up, that's Dr. Feelgood. Next one up is Girls, 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 and it's the 4th studio album. That was from May of 1987, and this album contains the hits Girls, 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 You're All I Need, and the MTV favorite called Wild Side. Yeah, another 40th anniversary remaster. All right, then we have Shout at the Devil. This one was their 2nd studio album, and it was released in September of 1983. It was their breakthrough album. It was establishing them as one of the top-selling heavy metal acts of the 1980s. Next up, Theater of Pain, and this one is their 3rd studio album. It was released in June of 1985, released in the aftermath of lead vocalist Vince Neil's arrest for manslaughter on drunk driving charge. We actually sort of touched on that a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Michael Monroe and Hanoi Rocks, and actually the person that died was Razzle from Hanoi Rocks, and he was in the car with Vince Neil driving, and manslaughter charges were brought up against him because of the death of Razzle. So kind of full circle we've come on this one, guys. Anyway, this marked the beginning of the band's transition away from the traditional heavy metal sound of Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil towards a more glam metal style. You can get that one again now too. And then lastly, this one, Too Fast for Love, this was the debut record that they came out with, and the first edition of 900 copies was released in November of 1981 on their own original label, Leather Records, and Elektra signed them the following year, at which point the album was remixed and partially re-recorded. So I think they changed up the artwork a little bit, but this one is kind of known as the quintessential debut album of theirs. And so, yeah, for that 40th anniversary, they're back with that for you. Okay. Next up, this is Jason Mraz, Mr. A to Z, and this is through Elektra Entertainment. This is the 2005 sophomore album from Jason Mraz, and it's getting this its vinyl debut, double LP release here. So this one, it was impressive at times. The problem really isn't style, but it's substance. His songwriting chops really left plenty to be desired here in the early days. This is more of a collector's piece if you're a fan of his, because there's a few instrumentals on here on the side 4 when they've relaxed it out, but lyrically it's a little problematic at times. It's a bit goofy. Next up, this is Naz Magic, and this is on the Mass Appeal label. This is the 15th studio album by American rapper Naz. It was released in December of 2021 through Mass Appeal. It serves as the third consecutive Naz album that is produced by Hit Boy, following King's Disease and King's Disease 2. The album features guest appearances from A$AP Rocky and DJ Premier. I'm going to do y'all a favor and have some more water. God, gets so. Okay, this is new and original. It's called Thriller. It's on the Jade Tree label. The first record is a big rock blast, a solid combination of everything that made the members' previous outfits, which were Far, Texas Is the Reason, and Chamberlain, so compelling, but carefully relevant and blissfully unguarded at the same time. So this is an exercise in diversity. It's raw, it's calculated, shuffles from high-energy hard rock to very meticulously crafted pop songs, and kind of almost like a Velvet Underground style melancholy, both very seamlessly and unapologetically borrowing from that. It's reissued on vinyl for the first time since 2001. It's a limited edition on blood orange vinyl. And right up here, it does say that it's on colored vinyl, and on the back barcode sticker, it will tell you that it's the blood orange one, okay? Again, Easter egg hunt, find out what the hell you're buying, right? Next up, this is She and Him Melt Away, a tribute to Brian Wilson. This is on Roadrunner Records. This is the 5th studio album. 7th studio album. And it's a loving tribute to one of the greatest living American singer-songwriters, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. This finds Zooey Deschanel and M. Ward diving deep into this legendary artist's extensive songbook with a really, really fascinating spin on time-honored classic and overlooked gems that you don't maybe know so well. Anyway, 14 covers. They're infused with the very familiar, magic that She and Him fans know and love. It offers a new window into Brian Wilson's iconic catalog. And it's the indie exclusive here is on Lemonade translucent vinyl, and that sticker there tells you that it's the indie exclusive, and it lets you know that that's the Lemonade translucent there, okay? Okay, this one is Slipknot 5, The Gray Chapter, and it's on Roadrunner Records. This is the 5th studio album by American heavy metal band Slipknot. It was the first studio album by the band in 6 years, and the first not to feature original founding members bassist Paul Gray and drummer Joey Jordison due to the death of Gray in 2010. The title of this album is a reference to his surname, The Gray Chapter. I mean, it's kind of weird that they're calling it that, although he wasn't on it. So I don't know, but that's the deal. Anyway, and Jordison was fired from the band in late 2013. As well as the only Slipknot album here featuring the original guitarist Donnie Steele on bass for this one, although the tracks he played on they did not document and they're unknown. So the first Slipknot album to have Alessandro Venturella on bass and Jay Weinberg on drums. The album includes 6 singles and has received commercial success and acclaimed reviews. It's on limited edition pink vinyl, and it tells you that right there on the sticker. Yes. Okay, Paul Weller, 22 Dreams on the Island label. This was originally released in 2008, and it's been unavailable on vinyl until now. It's Paul Weller's 9th studio album. The album features Oasis star Noel Gallagher and Jem Archer, as well as Steve Craddock from Ocean Color Scene and Blur guitarist Graham Coxon. The release comes as a 2 LP gatefold sleeve. It includes a 12 by 36 poster with printed lyrics, a track list, and credits on the backside. Plus, it includes an 8-page booklet titled The Missing Dream, also Dream number 22, by Simon Armitage. So there's a 2008 Paul Weller record for you. You know, it was interesting. Okay, so everybody, if you don't realize, Paul Weller was, of course, the guitar player and lead singer for The Jam, and then he also was in the Style Council, and he's been a solo artist since. I just read a thing that came up on my news feed that he just had welcomed his 8th child, and he's well into his 50s, I think. So kind of interesting. You know, it's just bizarre to me when, you know, guys have newborn babies when they're in their 50s, 60s, upwards than that, because it's like, why, you know, I guess when you are somewhat wealthy, but to have like 7 children prior to that, you know, you're really not going to be around for your youngest kid all that much longer. You know, I don't know. You're going to be super old by the time your child is, you know, in their 20s and 30s. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I guess I'm just like full of opinions this time around. Sorry, guys, but, you know, whatever. I just thought it was curiouser and curiouser. This is Jeremy Zucker. It's called Crusher. It's on the Republic label. He's a New Jersey-born singer-songwriter and producer, and he releases his sophomore album, Crusher. It features Therapist alongside Jeremy's summer anthems that are like 18 and Honest and Cry With You. So since emerging in 2015, he's amassed a staggering 5.3 billion global streams and 3 million albums, and has multiple platinum and gold certified records. This is on gray vinyl. It doesn't tell you that anywhere on this, but it is. So another one. Can't come up with a sticker. ZZ Top Raw, that little old band from Texas, original soundtrack through BMG Rights Management US. This was recorded at Gruen Hall while filming the 2019 documentary ZZ Top, that little old band from Texas. And this is a 12-track album from this Texas rock trio. It features the final appearance of their bassist, Dusty Hill, who passed away in 2021. It's very carefully recorded and intimate performance, and it really captures their cool command of the Texas rock and roll better than most people. Ironically, it's like they sound real smooth and together, and probably more vibrant than in a long time without really even trying. They sound much more soulful and vital. They make it seem effortless. So, you know, that's a nice piece. And I'm kind of thinking they should have put this on colored vinyl as well, but they did not. It's on black vinyl. Okay, so that wraps that up. I hope you guys found something that sounds interesting to you. That you know, you want to try out. We're open this weekend from 10 till 4, as every day. The list is down below with prices, and yes, I know vinyl's getting more and more expensive. Don't shoot the messenger, just letting you know. So hope to see y'all soon, and have a great weekend.